6766 MAXECU standalone, direct injection delete, headwork, including the valves are cut on 3 angles to hold dissipate heat better, and let's see what else. 8/8 rear end drive shaft, fuel cell. Fuck, what else? Everything.
All of it.
All of it. 2200cc injectors by DeatschWerks, who even David Deatsch is like, how'd you get those things to idle so well on a 6-cylinder? F80 M3 brake kit, which has been more of a pain in the ass than anything to try to get the smallest wheel I can get on is an 18. And I like the brakes, so I don't really want to change that, so it's just tough.
Rear seat delete.
Rear seat delete. Lithium battery, save like 70 pounds. Right now we're on 18-pound wastegate.
Okay.
So second gear, it broken before it hit 18. It broke like 16 and a half. Next weekend we'll go to the dyno and we'll get one more road session in. We have it tuned to 25, but I don't run it to 25 without him. And we should after the second dyno session be at 40 pounds and feel pretty comfortable.
Imagine double.
Yeah, I mean, I like even the 18 feels what like 26, 28 used to feel like, and then like just the difference between 18 and 25 is like unbelievably just like outside, just kind of like reality. And although it's like 18's pretty fun because you don't have to worry about the car coming out from under you a lot, and it's, you know, this thing weighs like, with us in it's close to 4,500 pounds, so and on the Nickies it shouldn't go on us too bad. But just to have the car idling the way it idles is just,
it feels dialed.
It's like it's
really
dialed
nice.
to like 25, I think. It just jumps from like 25 to like 60. It's just
great.
And it feels interesting though, because it's not like, I don't know, you're not losing control. Like 18, being on wastegate's fun, you know, you can just, it's one of those reasons that like 911s, like GT3 RSs, it's why they're 505 horsepower, because on the track you can use all the power all the time, and that's sometimes the most fun. But then sometimes it's way more fun to have complete lack of control too. And believe it or not, like even at like, the car's so heavy at 9.5 pounds, like on launch control, which we'll get a shot of that because it's completely different than any car that I've had, the way it sounds. And but that's not even really, the car bogs a little bit, but like that's at 3,800 RPM. So this right here, the injector duty cycle at idle, these large injectors, they just do not do well. But the Dakota at DeatschWerks really helped dialing in the settings, because it used to idle like this, but it'd be like pop, 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 be missing all over the place. So to have these huge injectors, 4 pumps in a fuel cell, and have it just this clean is impressive. And no misfires. The first tuning set, so Ryan Nix, who's like the Honda guy, is tuning this car, and everyone's like, when's he tuned BMWs? It's really not a BMW, it's kind of like, it's just an engine.
Yeah.
And we were doing some test pulls, 4th and 5th gear at 25 PSI, and like around a certain speed I pulled out, and he's like, everything okay? I'm like, bro, he's like, I'm just used to a misfire there. Like, it's just...
For how much is done, it seems like you could almost daily it if you wanted to.
It's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. And it'll be just like this until you ask for boost. A little loud. But it's like for, you know, a month and a half of tuning this, like I'd be at the shop and I'd be like, now I'll just take the M5. Because for some reason, the V10 M5, it just works. Like, you can do whatever you want with it. This was a lot more work to drive, but now it's starting to get more fun. I mean, it's 95 degrees out, oil temps 190, coolant 170. What's always most impressive, intake air temperature, like we're below ambient. So if that's the temperature coming out of the turbo, that's the temperature coming into the intake manifold. So we have the ability to look at so much other things. Like second time on the dyno, we'll know the turbine speed, we'll know the speed of the actual turbo.
That thing is crazy, and that's not turned up. That doesn't register in my brain.
I pulled out, well, I don't know, see, what we'll do is when we go in, we'll hook up the laptop, we'll pull that log, but I wasn't even into the throttle. Like, and that's the crazy thing is, it's like when you can see your throttle position here, like at 40% throttle, the car just keeps pulling. And that's all dialed in, like, you know how like on some cars you can hit a button and make the throttle more responsive?
Yeah.
So you can't just do that. You have to like program a table, and it's like the pops, the crackles and pops. That's all programming. Like, it was so bad, like when I would cruise on the highway at 70, it would be at a certain map pressure, and it would just start pop, 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 just like driving normal, and you had to dial all that shit in. But you want to hop out, I'll give it a launch control.
That is insane.
Right?
That's crazy.
MAXECU, baby. Dyno, paint. And then it'll be pretty close. And I don't know, like, of any other, I mean, I don't know anybody that put side exits.
No.
But when you get rid of the fuel tanks, then you have some room to do that. And then this is a convertible. So you got the fuel cell there. You have the hydraulic, the hydraulic pump and control unit for the hydraulic top that used to sit down in there and got moved up to the top. Everything's powder coated underneath. I mean, it looks pretty clean. It's like you step back far enough, you can see it. It's like almost, the car was so filthy before, and then it blew up and it was down for so long. I'm just like, let's rhino line it. The whole underside's rhino lined. Everything's powder coated.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
We're gonna run out of turbo before we run out of engine. But the nice thing is that hopefully the limits of the turbo, which should be like, I don't know, guys are getting on V8s are getting 1100 out of them. We might get a little more, but it's also the limit of the 6-speed manual. So really won't be able to no lift shift and do all that until that T56 goes, but.
Tell you what, you can hear this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You heard us coming?
I heard you guys while you were driving. What you were talking about?
Oh, out there?
I can hear the whole route, you guys.
That's so sick.
Yeah, finishing touches. I'm a little intimidated for the dyno though.
Yeah.
little intimidated. But you know, what's interesting is when you're on the road, you have so many uncontrollables, like, you know, load, the weight, the way it's gonna hook, where it's gonna redline, like that first little pull that we did there. And you gotta remember, so we're looking at, okay, so the way it moved around there, we had 13 knot counts. So in most of those pulls, we were probably pulling like 9.5 degrees of timing, which is approximately about 140 horsepower, somewhere in that range.
Gotcha.
So this is because the sensitivity of the knock table is set very high to pull timing in boost. Once that gets dialed in on the dyno, and they actually have their, you know, their what do you call it, like stethoscopes on the engine, and we start going into boost and it's like there's no knock there, then we dial it back. So, you know, we're pulling a significant amount of timing out just because of that.
Gotcha.
So that makes a big difference. And you know, that little like, you see how when I hit the anti-lag, if I hold it too long, it doesn't like it.
Yeah.
I just touched it and it like hit like that. That's a lot of the coding and programming that has to go into it, because with this MAXECU and rolling launch control, I should be able to line up 50 roll, set it at 50, pull that stick, hold my foot to the floor, and when I let go, it's there. I shouldn't have to manage how fast I let go of it, you know?
Gotcha. Should hold it.
It should hold it. It should be in boost when it comes out versus wanting to die out. And probably just because it's not set up as aggressive as it could.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you
Thanks,
giving
bro.
me a ride.
Appreciate your time, man.